Hi, my name is John, and welcome back to my channel, In John's Universe. If you're just joining us, I appreciate you checking us out. And if you're a subscriber already, thank you again for coming back in and listening to me. Last night, I had my third injection of semaglutide, which was Wednesday night, the 5th. Now, I injected it in my left thigh, and I think in previous videos, I said I was going to inject it in a couple of different spots. The first 2 weeks, the first time I did it, I injected it about 3 or 4 inches to the right and a little bit below my belly button or my navel. And then last week, I injected it on the opposite side of my stomach, about 2 to 3 inches to the left of my navel, just slightly lower than the navel. And what I wanted to do was change locations for injections to see if it had any difference in the side effects, which it didn't. My side effects, and I'll get into those in a few minutes, are pretty much the same. So I got on the scale this morning, which is Thursday the 6th, and I was at 227.7 pounds. My total weight loss for the week was 2.1 pounds. So last week, when I started, I was 229.6. Now, since I've started this weight loss journey with semaglutide and watching my diet and so forth and so on that goes along with it, I've lost 7.4 pounds, which is pretty significant. And I realize a lot of it is water loss, and that's to be expected. However, I've lost inches, and I know that for a fact because my clothes are looser. I looked for a tape measure around the house. I thought I had one, but I didn't. So what I did was, and this came in yesterday, I bought a tape measure, and this thing goes essentially like this. So you loop it around, and then you put it around. Naturally, you make it bigger for your waist and your chest and things, but you put it around and squeeze the button here, and then it conforms to the surface of your skin. So I'm going to start checking out different areas of my body. From what I understand, the most important part for taking your measurements is your waist, which is measurement around the narrowest part of your torso, which is slightly above your belly button, your hips, which is the biggest part around the widest part of your glutes, which is underneath your stomach, and your chest, right here at the nipple line, thighs, calves, upper arms, and your forearms. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to keep track of those measurements. And I'm probably not going to publicize those. I'm going to keep those for my own edification. Now, losing inches versus losing weight indicates that I'm on a weight loss plateau or I'm still retaining water. It's probably retaining water still. I have broken through, I believe, the weight loss plateau. And last week I described how to go about breaking through the weight loss plateau. It's through varying your diet, exercising differently, and so forth and so on. There's different ways you can do that. Now, it could be another reason that I'm only losing inches versus weight. The process of gaining muscle and losing weight simultaneously is called body recomposition. So I could be gaining some muscle mass instead of losing weight or losing fat. I'm not sure because I'm really not exercising to any great shakes or anything like that. So I don't know. I'm going to wait and see what happens. But I think it's just the combination of water retention and as far as not being able to exercise. And I'm at a weight loss plateau. And that's what I believe it is. It also could indicate that I need my prescription up to the next level or two as far as my weekly dose of the semaglutide. Now, I go to the doctor, let's see, next week I'm going on a Friday, the 16th. So I'm going to have him evaluate my weight loss, give him all the statistics that I've accumulated, and let him make the decision what we're going to do next. All right, let me get to side effects. I'm still having some side effects. Sometimes I feel sleepy. Sometimes, well, quite often, as soon as I give myself the injection during the night, the next morning, my mouth is very dry. And it usually lasts for a day or two. However, I've noticed it for the last three or the three initial injections that I have that this is definitely a side effect. So I'm taking some steps to counteract that right now, and I'll explain that in a second. I'm also getting some occasional bouts of indigestion. Now, again, it could be some of the foods that I'm eating, but I'm trying to eat pretty much the same as I ate before that didn't give me indigestion. Ergo, it's got to be the medication itself that's causing the indigestion. But we'll see. I haven't given up on it yet. What I've started to do, and I was at the dentist the other day, and I explained to her that I'm having dry mouth because I'm taking semaglutide, and she said I ought to start a regimen of coconut oil therapy. And I looked at her and said, "What the hell are you talking about? Coconut oil?" She said, "Yeah, it's called coconut oil pulling." Now, you can use some other oils like sesame oil, or I read something else. I forgot the oil, but good oil. Now, what I did was I got on Amazon and I bought a jar of extra virgin, extra virgin, uh, not refined coconut oil. And it came in yesterday, and I started it last night. And all I did was I took a little spoonful of it, not a lot, maybe half a spoonful, and I put it in my mouth. And after like 15 seconds, it dissolved into a liquid. And then what you're supposed to do is swish for up to 15 or 20 minutes. Now, I've never swished for 15 or 20 minutes in my life. So I'm sitting there like a gerbil over the sink like this, and I'm saying, God, how the hell can people do this for 15 or 20 minutes? So what I did was after 5 minutes, I spit it out. And instead of spitting it down the sink, because the coconut oil could congeal ultimately if you put too much down there and clog up your pipes. So I got an old Snapple bottle that has a fairly big mouth, and I'm using that to put my spit into it. They said, yeah, spit into a napkin or something and throw it in the trash. But I thought this was a little bit more sanitary for me. Now, let me get back to coconut oil. Let me get my notes here. Let me see. Coconut oil can transform your dental health. It reduces bacteria, decreases gingivitis, reduces bad breath, and it may reduce the harmful bacterium in your mouth and decrease your risk of some health conditions. But there's no evidence that it suggests that it draws toxins from the blood or whitens your teeth. It, Oil pulling is an ancient Indian folk remedy that is claimed to whiten teeth, freshen breath, and greatly improve oral health. From what I saw on the internet, coconut oil for pulling is becoming increasingly more popular. Many people swear by this remedy, and many say it also improves their health in other ways. You're not going to drink this stuff. You're just going to swish it around your mouth for, like I said, 15 or 20 minutes if you can stand it that long. And if you keep doing it, your jaws are going to start hurt. So yeah, they said you could stop. You could just let it sit in your mouth for a minute. It just, I mean, it doesn't taste bad. It's just, I don't know. It's something that I chose not to sit there with it in my mouth for such a long time because I think I had a sneeze and I was afraid I was going to swallow it, and I don't want to swallow this stuff. That's that's it for coconut oil, and I'm going to see how that's going to work for me. Uh, hopefully it'll help reduce the dry mouth because I get dry mouth syndrome quite often from other medications, and every once in a while I get some sores in my mouth from I'll burn my mouth from drinking coffee that's too hot or something like that. So I'm going to see if the coconut oil does help. So I plan on using coconut oil every day. All right, my next update will be next Thursday, March 13th. The night before, which is the 12th on a Wednesday night, I'll have taken my last injection of semaglutide. And I'll give you my ending weight. My starting weight this morning was 227.7. So that'll be my starting point next week. And we'll see what my end point for the week is. Now, from what I've read, the beginning of the regimen with semaglutide, you lose the most weight because it's water weight. And they say you can lose up to 12 pounds for the period of 4 weeks. Now, again, what I lose, 7.4 pounds. So I consider that pretty significant. and I'm happy with it. If I don't lose another ounce between now and the end of the 4 week period, I'm fine with it as long as I don't go in a downward spiral. Another thing I did this morning is I ordered a biometric scale on Amazon, and hopefully it'll come in tomorrow. And I got to figure out how the hell it works and how to sync it to my Apple Health, whatever the heck it's called, and get the readings. And I want to see more of the biometrics as far as my body's concerned. And I may do a video on that by itself. I may just make it a part of this video, but that's my next setup. I have a regular bathroom scale at home, and I'm not sure if it's 100% accurate, but it's 100% accurate every day as far as I'm concerned. Because if it's off by a pound or two, it's off. It's going to be off by a pound or two tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day. But I'm pretty convinced that the scale is working right. Next week, or let's see, in 2 weeks, which will be my fourth week synopsis or overview of my weight loss. I'm not going to do a weekly segment anymore on my weight loss. I'm going to do it monthly. And what I want to do is I want to get back to my original niche for my channel is I want to start going back to offering videos as a helpful segment for people who are 40, 50, 60, 70 and beyond, and how to start their own YouTube channels. When I started my YouTube channel, I didn't have a clue about what I'm doing. I'm getting better at it. I'm certainly not an expert. There's a lot of things that I don't know, but I've found some people who are very knowledgeable, and I started to follow them. And again, I'll mention those people probably in the next full video I do about helping people get started on YouTube. Now, for instance, I use a program called Riverside.fm. This is what I'm recording on right now. It's an easy program to learn. Yes, you have to pay for it. I forgot exactly what it was. And it's a yearly fee that you pay. I also have iMovie on my Mac computer. I've gotten into that before and started editing with it, but I found that it's just a little bit more complicated. See, with Riverside FM, you record right onto their platform, you edit right on their platform, and you could send out the videos and everything that you need to do right on their platform. And it makes it a heck of a lot easier, especially for somebody that's not well that technically inclined. Now, I'm sure a lot of the older people or even anybody has the equipment that's needed to start filming themselves. If you have a smartphone, it's great. I have an iPhone 16 Max, and it's perfect or Pro Max, and it's perfect for my needs. It picks up good audio, when I'm outside. I mean, there's a lot of benefits to having a camera or a phone like this. I also have a couple of other cameras that I could use, but I found this to be the easiest way of doing it. So that's really what I want to do is I want to get back to my original premise of my channel, or my niche is to help older people learn how to do YouTube and start their own YouTube channels, hopefully make some money for themselves, get some recognition. And you can't be afraid to do YouTube. YouTube certainly is not easy, but it's not that difficult to learn all the ins and outs that you need to do to make it a little bit easier for yourself. Uh, Anybody can do it. It just takes a little bit of perseverance. It takes a little bit of hard work, or a lot of hard work, I should say, and dedication. There's things that you may have to give up. You may have to give up sitting watching your favorite soap opera or watching sports for a weekend when you have to produce a video and get it out there and so forth and so on. But that's what I want to do. All right. Thank you again for listening. I appreciate it. And you have a good day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.